We got a lot more exercises to do, and I'm going to try to really work on trying to really reach that failure point of no return. Want to see if we can do that and be real about it. This is day 3. We're going to hit it. We got a lot to hit.
This is the beginning of the true test of if the one set to failure thing really works. So this is the same machine we did from our previous time. After just 2 days rest instead of an entire week, we're able to push this machine, now not all the way down to my hips, because once again, this is 360 pounds, 4 plates on each side, 8 plates altogether. And I'm doing these pullovers, and I'm struggling, but I'm getting more reps in. So we are seeing an improvement in the amount of reps from the first day we did it to this day. And we did it within a shorter period of time, so we're able to rest and recover easily. So on this third day, this is where we actually do the bent over rows. But instead of depending on the bent over rows, I went ahead and utilized the machine. Now, I'm at 200 plus pounds, and I'm holding it. Once again, we're trying to tax the muscle. Hold it, and slowly drop the weight to get the most out of it. It does cause a lot of discomfort. It does cause a lot of pain, but this is how you got to build this muscle. And when I look at the magazines or the professional guys lifting, they look like they're in excruciating pain, and I'm not doing that face to fake like I'm having difficulty. That's genuine. And it's genuine when you are holding the weights and slowly controlling them. Once again, if it was about ego lifting, I could throw up probably 12 pretty easily, but that's not the point of this exercise. This is a prime example of me biting off more than I can chew. So I have the entire stack, 200 pounds on this, and I'm able to do the first lift, hold, and slowly go down. I go up for the second one, can't cut it. But that is true failure, which is still a good thing. Now this is when the interesting thing happens during the routine. This is a negative only pull-up. Okay, so I hold for 4 counts, and I'm actually looking at an actual clock for actual 4 seconds, and I'm down 8 whole seconds. And then I'm jumping up just to do the negative. I'm avoiding the positive. Now, because of the order of everything, I just finished doing the bent over rows. Obviously, my arms and my biceps are pre-exhausted. So I'm not able to do the same amount, but I could see how this exercise kind of really just double hits the same general area and can cause muscle growth because you're already pre-exhausted from the previous exercise that we just finished a few moments ago. And you got to remember, when Casey Viator did this, he had a partner that could push him, and because he didn't have to set up his own weights, he had less in the way of rest in between. So when you're doing this by yourself, the only rest you get is when you're setting up the weights for the next thing. Then I had to turn right around and do the opposite for the triceps after working the biceps. Now, once again, these are all negatives, all right? So to do just negatives, all right, I stop, I jump up and avoid the positive movement, hold myself for 4 counts, and then go down slowly for 8. Notice I'm bending over. I want to become as horizontal as possible and hold my legs up so it taxes my triceps and my chest more than anything else. I felt stronger with this, and this is ironic because, I'm always concerned about doing the bench press at 205 over there with that pulley machine that's been, of course, terrorizing me in the gym the whole time I've ever been in this particular gym, because I think the 205 is actually pulleyed up to be a lot stronger or heavier than that. But that's me and conspiracy theory, right? Okay, so you'll notice, once again, I'm jumping up to avoid the positive, and I'm only doing the negative. And you might wonder, well, why do they have you only doing the negative? Well, according to Arthur Jones and Mike Mentzer, you get more out of your muscles growing from doing just holding stagnant weight and the negative of letting it down. So the hardest part of a push, or the hardest part of an exercise, is the positive, when you're pushing the weight up, okay? And so when you avoid the weakest part and then you do just the holding and the negative part, that allows you to strengthen yourself. Arthur Jones did an experiment once with, I believe, a Cleveland Browns player who couldn't do a single pull-up. even though he was a football player and he's going to lose his money. They were going to lose their money if he couldn't chin himself up. So what they did in order to train him to get stronger, they had him hold himself still on the bar first and let himself down very slowly. This is me doing the shrugs, and the original thing called for a barbell, and maybe I will move that sometime, but I always like doing my shrugs with dumbbells. Now we're coming back to the nemesis of my workout, this doggone red pulley machine, pushing it out. Now, I was disappointed in myself because I only did 3 this time, right? And I was disappointed in myself, but you know what I forgot? I forgot that we had just finished doing over 10 negative dips over on the dip machine. So obviously my chest strength, my tricep strength is not going to be at its peak. It's not rested because I'm coming off of an exhausted or pre-exhausted situation with those dips. This is another example of me focusing on negative. This is for the bicep. Now, it's been a little while since I've had the bicep exercises, but I'm holding for 4, looking up at the clock, and actually extending for 8 full counts. All the way down, stretch the muscle all the way out, then use leverage to pull it back up again. Now, I'm dealing with a stack of weight over 200 I believe. So I've upped the ante as far as actual weight is concerned, and I'm still getting in the amount of reps. So I'm still demonstrating more strength, which once again is a good sign. I ended up getting stronger on this, but it was totally by accident because somebody had the 75 pound. So rather than go down, go up. So I went up to the 80s and started doing it, and then lo and behold, I'm like, whoa. Now at this point, it's asking for me to do another set of behind the neck negatives. So I tried to augment that and just jump and do negatives with a different hand position, more like a hammer curl position, and slowly go down. I could only do one real decent one. So what I decided to do is just I wanted to hold myself to exhaustion. So as we go to these dumbbells, once again, I'm using 25-pound dumbbells, and they are quite heavy enough, to be honest. I don't see me needing to go any higher than this, other than working on slowing down my descent, because by the time I got to these shoulders, these lateral raises, I'm pre-exhausted to the point right now where I can barely handle these 25. In fact, I'm starting to feel like I should have grabbed the 20s, but since I'm starting here, you don't go down. You stay at the weight you're at, struggle at, and then you just get stronger at that weight. Just like the other exercises, you know, I may have stepped into an arena where it was heavier than I thought it would be, but since that's my new threshold, that's my new bottom line. So this is the leg extension. What I'm doing is I'm holding over 200 pounds, just holding to pre-exhausted so I could do a true superset between this and the leg press. And this pre-exhausts you to really doubly work the legs because you need more reps and more straining on the legs. And finally we got to the leg press. I think next time I'm going to actually just go ahead and wait for the squat machine. I did get 20 reps in here with the tire stack, which is only 325 on this machine, the red machine. But it's not the same as the squats, I have to admit. I think from an ego standpoint, the squat is better. The squat is the more dangerous, but the most beneficial of all the exercises. And even the shoe that you see right here, this is actually a specialty shoe specifically for squatting, lifting your heels so that you can have a better squat. So You know, why buy the equipment and not use it properly, right?
Ran out of energy. Totally ran out of energy. So, 45 minutes. When you do it by yourself, you have to unload your weights, put your weights back on yourself. It takes you a little more time to get through everything. That's where a workout partner really comes in handy. But we went at it pretty tough. I just don't have anything left in the tank for the leg curls. Maybe I'll get them next time. I'm a prostate cancer guy.